So a lot of people say that you need to spend a lot of money in order to have a lot of fun, but I believe that that is inaccurate. And one good example of this has to be the observatory in Griffith Park, because people do not spend anything to get here, and it is a pretty good experience, except today because there's actually a fire. But I can show you some of the views you can get for free. Yep, you don't have to pay 1 penny for this view. So yeah, my philosophy is that it seems as though people like to spend a lot of money on a lot of things, but in many ways, hold on a second. Oh.
Yeah, for a holiday photo. Thank you.
It's very busy up here, by the way. It's extremely crowded. That's what you get when it's free. So yeah, what I believe is the case is that when you do spend a lot of money, oftentimes you're not necessarily getting a great experience. One example I would say are people who spend a fortune on like extremely expensive hotels, because most of the time you're not even spending much of the time in the hotel room. You're just kind of almost spending the money just because you want the prestige of knowing that you were able to spend a lot of money and sleep in a wonderful room. But most of the time you're actually asleep, so it doesn't actually matter all that much. Whereas here at the observatory, people are really having a great time, and it didn't necessarily need to cost them a lot of money. I think that there is an impression that the more you spend for a good service or anything quite like that, the better it is. In some cases that is true. I definitely agree that if you spend more for electronics, you're definitely getting a lot more for your money. But in terms of, like, let's say food, let's just say French fries, I've been to a lot of 5-star restaurants that do not actually have very good French fries. In fact, I'd say most of them are not as good as McDonald's. So I think that would be kind of a surprising thing, that in the end, after spending all that kind of money, you're not getting as good of an experience in McDonald's. So that's a frustrating thing. So okay, so why am I coughing today? A lot of it's still on this topic. It was about the idea of spending a lot of money. People spend a lot of money to live in Los Angeles and California, but what are you getting for it? Let's take a look around here. You're getting a place that has a lot of fires and environmental catastrophes. Like, we're gonna show you, there's actually fire right now here in Hollywood. Apparently it's there's like a fire near the Warner Brothers studio, and so people spend a fortune to live here, but in the end, the quality of life is not necessarily good. Like, the air quality is pretty bad. I'd say it kind of reminds me a little bit of Beijing. So you definitely are spending a lot. Are you getting a lot? I don't know. A terrible job at something like that. Then McDonald's is that pretty good, at least French fries. But another example is Apple stock. That's almost $1 trillion. Isn't that a dumb thing to buy if you're an individual to buy?
$1 trillion?
It's almost no. For the whole company, is worth $1 trillion. But my view is, it's a lot harder for something to get to $1 trillion
from what Jeff Bezos owns.
Yeah,
is he worth as much as
he's not.
Apple?
He's not. No one's a trillionaire.
He could not buy Apple.
No, he could not.
What would happen if Jeff Bezos bought every single share he could? What would happen to the?
He couldn't. Well, it would raise the price. It would actually bring the price up. Let me try to convert.
And then when he sells it, he could really sink it.
Well,
could he make it go back down?
But what's the point? I don't think he really hates Apple.
Yeah, maybe he does.
But anyway, it's a lot harder for a company to go from $1 trillion to $2 trillion than it is for like a $2 billion company to go to $6 billion. That's a lot easier to go from $2 to $6 billion than when you're doing that way.
The air quality is really bad here.
It's pretty bad.
It's always bad in LA, but then
it's just atrocious. It's like the worst.
Or
worst
Beijing, China. This is about look this way. And that's what it's like in Beijing.
Oh, don't say that. Well, because I'm not with a corporation, so I'm not like a corporate hack that just tells you what you want to hear. So I would definitely give you uncontroversial.
How about
Like I was never a big fan of this thing called Robin Hood, because it seemed like kind of a. It just seemed kind of gimmicky. Oh, no cost to use it, but then you can't call anybody. Why are you gonna?
who does Ra use? Do you like Fidelity or Schwab?
I think he has.
do you like?
There's like some bark service for dogs, for rich dogs.
Do you like Fidelity or do you like Schwab?
I think he is thinking, I want to be back on the ground.
Okay, you gotta be back on the ground.
Okay, wait, he has to sign off.
Okay, Ra,
Here.
say
Okay, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.